floor of the Republican National Convention. Tonight's roll call, which you saw live here on CNN. Among other things, Republican officials clearly snubbed Texas Congressman Ron Paul by refusing to read aloud his vote totals from the podium. With us now is the congressman's son, United States Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky. Senator Paul, I got to tell you, and I like your dad. You love your dad, but I like him a lot. I was pretty shocked to hear that they wouldn't even read from the podium how many votes Congressman Paul got.
Well, one of the interesting things was the crowd was reciting how many he got. So when they wouldn't announce it from the podium, you would hear an echo from the crowd of the Ron Paul supporters who were announcing his totals.
Why didn't they do that? This seems so petty and so ridiculous. I mean, your father worked hard in the Republican Party. He went through all the rules. I believe he didn't do anything illegal in getting those votes. He went through the process. He worked hard. He's not a young guy. And they wouldn't even give him the courtesy to acknowledge how many votes he got.
It's been sort of a mixed bag. Many things the Romney campaign has been very conciliatory on. We've worked hard and with them on the platform. We've gotten many things we wanted in the platform. One of my dad's signature issues has been audit the Fed. That's now part of the Republican platform. One of the issues I've talked a lot about is that drones shouldn't be crisscrossing American citizens' property in cities without warrants. That's now into the platform. Protections against unreasonable search and seizure, we've gotten into the platform. Declaration of war. So we won a lot of battles. You don't win all the battles. There were some compromises on what delegates would be seated. Some of the delegates on my dad's side still weren't happy. But I think we did win some battles, and so I don't see it all as bad. I also see the future of the Republican Party is that they need to embrace Ron Paul Republicans and Libertarians, because there's much of the country we aren't winning in. We're not winning in California or New England. If we want to win again, maybe they need to embrace more of the ideas of the Ron Paul fans.
Your dad's retiring from Congress. He's not going to run anymore. And he has said this is the last time he's running for president of the United States. I just thought it was inappropriate to end his political career, if you will, on a note like this before his own party.
It could have always been better. We would have loved him to speak here also. But there's a little bit of movement each way. I mean, he was asked to give an overt endorsement, and he wasn't quite there.
He was invited to speak, but they wanted to clear his speech in advance. They wanted to vet it, and he said no, he's not ready to do that. Was that appropriate to tell someone like Ron Paul, you can speak, but we will edit, we will make sure that what you say is something we want to hear?
In the end, he did get to speak here in Tampa. We had our own rally, not here, but he got to speak for an entire hour, and he got to say whatever he wanted to say. And his message still gets out there. Really what's incumbent upon the Republicans, it's not so much about the speech here. It's whether or not we want to get bigger as a party and whether we want to win in places where we're not winning. We're not winning in New England. We're not winning on the West Coast. We're not winning Illinois most of the time. We give up 150 electoral votes. If we want to be in play with those, a lot of libertarian ideas appeal to independents and moderates. One of the most amazing things, and I think it was one of y'all's polls, CNN did a poll late in the campaign when Ron Paul had no chance. He was still polling virtually even with President Obama because he does well with Democrats and independents.
But you wholeheartedly endorse Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan, right?
Yes.
Your father says he can't do that.
And it's just a difference of tactics and a difference of, I support them because I think they're way better, no question. I don't know that our country really survives 4 more years of all the regulations that we're getting and the debt.
That's a little harsh.
Oh, it is.
Survives?
It is. Yes. I mean,
wait a second. If President Obama is reelected, you think the United States of America in 4 years will not be the United States of America?
I'm worried about our currency, not just because of this president from 40 years of deficit spending, but it's accelerating. And I am worried that if we are on this pace, it's an exponential curve we're looking at of accumulating debt, that there is a danger to the currency. I'm not talking really apocalyptic terms, but I am concerned that you don't always know when a currency fails. 2008 was a panic. That was pre-Obama, so we're not blaming it on Obama. It's our country. Republicans and Democrats have been looting the Treasury. But it's getting worse.
And you acknowledge Republicans are big spenders as well. They don't want to cut the defense budget. You're not going to hear a lot of people here say that the Defense Department should be cut.
You might hear a little bit of that.
We'll hear it from you.
Tomorrow night.
We'll hear it from you.
Hear that.
We hear it from your father. He once teamed up with Barney Frank to cut that defense spending. But in the platform, Mitt Romney, he's not saying cut defense spending.
No, but I'll tell you what, I always try to look for the glass being half full. We've worked on Audit the Fed for years. We're starting Audit the Pentagon. It was introduced by Tom Coburn, who's a Republican. We have, I think, 4 Republicans and 4 Democrats. I think Joe Manchin's on it. I think Claire McCaskill may be on it. We have people on both sides now saying the Pentagon cannot tell the taxpayer they're too big to be audited.
Are you with Paul Ryan, now the vice presidential nominee of this party, when he wants to do a voucher system for Medicare?
I'd go one step further. I would give every senior citizen the same health care plan that I have, the congressional health care plan, and it would save $1 trillion over 10 years. But I'd do it now. I'd just say immediately, you get a better plan than you've ever had. It's the federal health care plan. It is subsidized. There's no more money out of pocket. And this is what you get. All your congressmen have it. It's great. I would give to all senior citizens immediately.
Senator Paul, thanks very much for coming in. Tell your dad I want to speak to him maybe tomorrow if he's got some time, if he's still going to be here. He's going to be here, right?
I'm not sure, but I'll ask.
Thanks very much.
All right.
Senator Paul, thanks very much for coming in.